Good morning everyone. Just putting a quick update on the Russian phone which I got. It's the new dial required for it, and I've got the number because I'm actually looking at it now on the computer. And well, that's the one there. A TAN, I've got it up as TAN5, but the circuit diagram inside shows it as a TAN6. This is translated into the English language. So hopefully I've got the right number. Anyhow, this is just a quickie on this one. As you see, the old dial, and I had mentioned this in the write-up, I've had to take out the regulator out to show what had gone wrong. There was no point in trying to repair it. It was, I think, past repair. So I thought, well, the only way is to look on eBay and see if I can get a hold of another one which would be for a Russian telephone. And fortunately enough, one turned up. And you see it's got CCP on there, which is obviously Russian. And the Russian Cyrillic writing. And 5 leads, or 5 wires, which connect it up. So I haven't actually tapped it out with the old one, but I've got to make sure that when I screw them back into the phone, the dial contacts will correspond to the correct position. I'm assuming it probably will. Now also, I took a bit of a gamble on making this fit, and well, I looked at the picture of it on the eBay, and I thought, well, it looks right. It's returning nicely. It's a nice action. I know it's not as old as the original, but it will fit in the space. It's held in by 2 screws, and I'm pretty sure that'll fit in that little space there. So it's updated the actual dial, but still remaining to have the old phone, which is quite a nice phone. The Bakelite is in perfect condition. As I say, I think it's worth getting these things if the price is right and there's no breakages. If there's anything broken on it, then when I say broken, I mean the Bakelite case. Leave it alone. It's really not worth getting. The repairs to Bakelite, I think, would be very, very difficult. Someone's going to argue with me now and say no, it's not, but I prefer doing the actual electrical contacts inside. To me, that comes naturally, as it was my job many years ago. I worked in a telephone exchange, so obviously I've dealt with Strowger equipment, uniselectors. Outside, yes, we did telephones. We even worked on the cables in the street, which wasn't very nice, but there we are. That's what I used to do many years ago. Anyhow, there's the dial there, and hopefully that'll fit in there and get that phone working. The phone is working. I had to repair the anti-side tone induction coil. One of the wires had come off. Well, I soldered that back and it appears to be okay. So once we get that dial in, I'll put it on test and we'll give it a little whirl. Incidentally, also got in the pipeline one of the Copenhagen phones. I picked this up at a reasonable price. It looks in excellent condition, so more on that when I actually get it. So without further ado, we'll go on to something I picked up today. So excuse me while I move this, the Russian phone on the floor. It's on the floor, and I'll put the dials down there as well, so they're also on the floor. Right, move those two to the floor. Right, what we've got today, once again, same remarks referring to the Bakelite. Repairs can normally be done to the innards. What could go wrong? Well, if it's not damaged, very little. It might look old. It is old. The wires may be frayed, as you can see. The wires are badly frayed, so that cord will have to be replaced with probably a modern cord. The other cord's at the other end's on the floor, and that's also frayed. So both cords are frayed, but that's not a problem. Let's put this light over so we can see what we're looking at. We're looking at the insides, or the innards as I call it, and I've got no information as to regards a diagram. There was a diagram perhaps many years ago. You turn it upside down, the base, and there is the remains of the diagram. Unfortunately, there's nothing on it that will really help me because it's in an awful state. But as you can see, the components are okay. They look okay, all right. Hopefully the windings are intact. This is the anti-side tone coil connected up. Note the very old wiring. This probably goes back to the 30s. You've got also a capacitor, and this is using the two parts of it. So obviously one part's used as a bypass to bypass AC to ring the bell. It's got on there 2 by 1 microfarads, 700 volts working. Well, it won't be reaching 700 volts, I can assure you, but that's what it was obviously made for. Once again, very old, probably a paper type capacitor. Under there you've got your 2 bell coils. They look okay, untouched. Above them you've got as you take the receiver off, that way, you operate the cradle switch. There we are under there, which looks to me to be of Russian